Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. These are our 10 tips to start your low carb lifestyle today.
Cue music.
Da-da-da.
Before we start, let's just discuss what is a low carb lifestyle. Very broadly, you try and limit the amount of carbs that you take in with your diet, and that has an effect of teaching your body to use fats rather than carbohydrates. Carbohydrates being sugars, starch, a whole bunch of stuff. So let's get into the tips.
Tip number 1. Before you do anything, just start. Take it one day at a time and just eliminate one carby thing from your diet today.
Actually, don't take it one day at a time. Take it your next meal. Just don't eat the carbs. There, it's done. You've started your low carb lifestyle. Tip number 2, do some research yourself. Take the time. We're going to give you some things to research and go take half an hour, take an hour, do the research so you understand what's involved. The 4 important things that we think you should start with are the following.
Research ketosis. So what is ketosis? In a nutshell, it's when your body produces ketones and that helps to use fat as energy. If you want to get more scientific and get all of the technical details behind it, just research this topic. Net carbs. Do your research on the subject. Not all carbs are created equal, and net carbs are actually the carbs that you want to take into account when following a low carb lifestyle.
So you can go research, but to help you out, net carbs is roughly, you take your full carbohydrate count of whatever product you're looking at, you subtract the fiber as your body can't consume fiber for energy, and what you're left with is your net carbs, and that's actually something that we use in our calculations to determine what food and how much of what food you can eat. Next thing to research is macros. So macros, very broadly, is the amount of nutrients that you, or the balance of nutrients that you would want in your diet. So basically, very broadly, you want as much as possible fat, or a lot of fat, good fats, healthy fats. You want a little bit less protein, and you want the least carbohydrates. Go and research low carb or keto macros. It's to do with how much fat, protein, and carbohydrates that you can consume.
Okay, research intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting? It is a process where you go without food for certain hours or a time period of a day. It can even stretch across a certain amount of days. Go and do your research and see how you can incorporate that into the low carb lifestyle.
Just to be clear, you don't have to do intermittent fasting. It is something a lot of people do though, and it's something that's easier to do on the low carb lifestyle, yes, because your body has got enough fats to sustain you. If you're in a carby lifestyle, it's very difficult to do because your body keeps telling you eat more carbs, eat more carbs. If you're on a low carb lifestyle, you can actually stretch periods between meals, and that's basically what's involved. It's actually very healthy for you. I don't like doing it. I battle with it. Adelia has got a lot more success with it. Do it, don't do it, but go and research what it is.
Research Dr. Jason Fung. In the beginning of our lifestyle journey, I came across his works on YouTube. There's a long series that he's published. I think it's a 5 or a 6-part series. We'll post the link in the description below. And take your time. If you do have time, go and just watch this. He's got lots of arguments of both sides of the coin of low carb diets. He discusses the pros and the cons, and what is nice about watching his material is that he actually based his documentaries on facts that were published during research studies.
Yeah, he just seems to know what he's talking about. You see a lot of people talking about the subject, and like two of us, which actually have no clue, we're not medical doctors, we know what we've researched ourselves. But you get a lot of people talking about it, but Dr. Jason actually references studies with results that you can actually go and look up for yourself if you want to. And as Adila said, he discusses both sides of the coin. So he goes for low carb diet and against the low carb diet, and he actually measures results. And there's some very, very interesting things that do pop out. So if you've got the time, it's long. It's four or five 1 hour videos. Check the link in the description if you want to check it out. It's really, really valid information if you want to take the effort.
What I liked about his research is that it was actually, or his findings and his documentaries was actually based on long-term studies. Some of his studies were carried out over 30 or 40 years, and that is actually what we are looking at in the quest of longevity and a healthy lifestyle. You actually want to see what the long-term results are. And go and watch that and educate yourself.
Tip number 3, be wary of processed foods. What I mean by processed foods is we don't always understand what it is, but basically what processed foods are is foods that have been reworked multiple times to get to a final product, like a processed cheese or a hamburger cheese, for instance. There's not much left there that actually resembles cheese. Cheese is a piece of cheese that you cut, you put it on your burger. That's cheese. Buying one of those slices of processed cheese, that cheese has gone through multiple processes, some stuff added, some stuff removed, and when you start looking at the labels, you start realize, heck, how many things are in this product that I am buying. And that's something that you're going to have to learn to look at if you want to do the low carb lifestyle, because there's lots of hidden things in lots of products that look harmless, which will actually affect you negatively.
Something I always use is if I have to compare two products, the one with the lesser ingredients are often the one that I'll choose.
Probably the better product.
Yeah. Tip number 4, buy fresh foods. When you go to the shops, concentrate on buying fresh single food ingredients. Also educate yourself on the carb content of vegetables and fruits. Stuff like potatoes are exceptionally high in carbs, and then also your tropical fruits are high in sugars, which also add carbs to your diet. Educate yourself and make healthy choices.
Take the time and learn what foods have got what carb counts, and go and search low carb vegetables or low carb fruits, and you'll get an idea of which way to go. Yeah. Tip number 5, check your labels. Sugar-free, no added sugar, or gluten-free does not necessarily mean that this item is low carb. Check your labels, make sure about the carbohydrate content in this particular product that you're looking at. Don't fall for the marketing of gluten-free, sugar-free, no sugar added. Check for yourself and make good choices.
I must just add here that marketing can be very convincing, but it can also be very deceiving. I've sat many a times when I've looked at the labels and I'm like, oh my, this is actually not healthy for us, it's not healthy for the kids, because it says no sugar added or gluten-free or sugar-free, and then when you look at the ingredients, you realize that the base they started working off is actually full of loaded carbs. Tip number 6, keep it interesting. We've mentioned in one of our previous videos as well, keep it interesting, keep it entertaining. The more you can keep everybody in your family entertained and excited about your next meal, the better results you're going to have. It doesn't have to be bland. There are lots of ways to experiment and make all of your usual family go-to favorites, remake that in a low carb way.
Just experiment. Don't be afraid, you can't do anything wrong. Do something and it doesn't taste good, don't do it again. Think of different ways to prepare your food minus the carbs. Tip number 7, check the carbohydrate count on whatever product you're looking at. So look at the label, and the label will normally be marked in per serving size or per weight, and check whichever one works for you, and check the carbohydrate count for the serving. keep in mind the net carbs, that's what we've discussed earlier. But in essence, you want to look at the total amount of carbs for a serving that you're going to have of that product. Check what the serving is. If the serving is 1 tablespoon and you're going to have 3 tablespoons, then you need to do the math. So the important thing is not to check your carbs per meal. You want to check your carbs and make sure that your total carb count for the whole day across all your meals fits into whatever you decided you're going to try and stay under. So if you're doing keto and you're trying to stay under 20 grams of carbs, then make sure if this one meal is, or this one serving is going to add 15 grams of carbs, you've only got 5 grams of carbs left for lunch and for supper. So you need to do the math during the day and make sure that what you eat in total fits into your carb count that you have chosen to try and stay under. Tip number 8, count your macros. So counting your macros involves what we discussed earlier. Counting macros is your big ingredients basically. So you want to count your amount of carbohydrates, your amount of fats and your amount of proteins. And as we discussed earlier, you want to have the most amount of fats in your diet, a little bit less protein, and then the least amount of carbohydrates. Now the way that you can do this easily is you get an app. There's lots of apps out there. We might link some in the description if you want to go and have a look at it. I use an app called Fat Secret. Funny name, but it works. So with this app, you can then go and track your macro count through the day. So you can tell it, I just ate an apple, or I just ate whatever your meal was, and it'll tell you in that meal you have now for the day consumed this amount of carbohydrates, this amount of fats, and this amount of proteins. So that's a way for you to keep track of where you are during the day. So for supper, you can see I've still got a good amount of carbs left, for instance, and then you can sneak in something extra if you can still stay under your chosen carb count. The apps are also great for checking what foods has got what macronutrients. So if you want to eat an apple, you don't know, you go into the app, you go and select apple, and it'll tell you one apple consists of so many carbs, so many protein, and so much fats. So then you can make a choice. Do I eat half an apple? Do I not eat an apple? We, as a family, try and not think about carbs as evil. Most people doing this low carb lifestyle or keto, absolutely against any type of carbs. We've done the research and your body actually needs some carbs. So look at the macros, decide how much carbs you want to take into your diet for what you've decided, and just count them through the day.
It's important to note that you will not always use these apps during your journey. Use them as a tool to get to know the foods you eat and to know which foods will fit into your lifestyle.
So we basically hardly ever use the apps anymore.
Yes.
We've got them if there's something new that we're looking at, but you learn, I can eat this and I can eat so much of that and I can eat so much of that, and it becomes second nature, just like you would buy any kind of food. When you buy food, you know, I can have that, I can't have that, I can have a little of that. You'll learn soon enough.
Tip number 9, sort out your snacks game. Yes, you can have sweets and you can have snacks on a low carb lifestyle. Learn which are healthy, which are not, but most importantly, always keep snacks in your fridge or your freezer, especially if you're going to do this with kids. There are lots of recipes out there and lots of ways to make nice, sweet, lovely tasting snacks.
Just to add to the snacks, there are products out there. People do make low carb snacks. If you check the ingredient list, they're not always that good. Sometimes it's very creative marketing. So we've learned to make some snacks at home. We make chocolate, we make ice cream, we make muffins, and we've always got something in the fridge. If someone's peckish or feels like having something, you don't need to go to the store to go and buy some very, very carby or sugary chocolates or whatever the case may be. Make sure you've got something in the fridge or in the pantry, and that's going to be your go-to. If someone feels like snacking, give them a snack. This is not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Tip number 10, don't be fooled in buying a customized diet or meal plan. Meal plans are great, and the first thing that you find when you start in research low carb or keto, whatever the case may be, is you get heaps and heaps and heaps of websites that wants to do customized meal plans for you, normally at a fee. which is fine. I mean, those guys do actually go and work out what your best ratio of macros are for your body type, fats, proteins, carbs, and they tell you exactly for lunch you're going to eat this, for dinner you're going to eat that, and that's great. But don't be fooled that you need that to actually do this whole low carb lifestyle. You need to learn how food works, you need to learn what food is made of, and you need to learn what you can consume in your lifestyle, and you just mix it around and you make food like you would normally.
No. I cannot stress this enough. It's very difficult to maintain a lifestyle based on a meal plan. Relearn what food is and relearn how food works and keep it simple. Real food is simple food.
Yeah, when we started, we had a very, very difficult time. We were scouring the internet for recipes and meal plans, and we were very despondent at one point. And we soon realized it doesn't have to be difficult. You just need to understand what it is. You need to see what's in your food, and you need to make some food that consists of the type of macros that you have decided on. It's actually very easy. We hope you enjoyed our 10 tips to start your low carb lifestyle today. If you would like to see more of our videos, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button if you like this video. We do a lot of low carb recipes. We take some of the classics, we reinvent them. We've done ice cream, chocolate, a whole bunch of stuff. So subscribe to our channel, stay tuned, you'll get updates every time we do a new video. Remember, it's not that difficult, just start. Your next meal, go for it, and you've started your low carb lifestyle. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and support us by subscribing to our channel.